As a matter of fact, that's the title of today's lesson. Feast of Tabernacles. I'm Brother Al, for those who don't know. This is my reader, Brother Kevin, coming to you on behalf of the Vineyard of Israel in the name of the Most High God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, with a message on this high Sabbath, all right, entitled The Feast of Tabernacles, the Ingathering. So let's take a brief moment and thank the Lord for giving us this opportunity to serve Him in spirit and truth. And thank you for saving us from great deception. All right, like I said, today's title is The Feast of Tabernacles, also known as the Ingathering. Also known as the Ingathering. Okay, so this is a feast that the Lord give us to keep in mind the fact that He's going to gather all His people, right? Or if we're dealing with His vineyard at the time of harvest, He's going to gather all His grapes. All right? The ones that's been listening and obeying and doing the will of God, those are the ones that He's gathering unto Himself. Right? Those are the ones that's going to be in His vineyard. And we want to make sure we're in that number. So we keep this as a memorial, as a feast, as a high Sabbath. He gave this to us. And it's, before we dive into the bulk of the lesson, the problem with you just can't keep it any kind of way. You know, you just can't do everything and anything you want to do. You have a problem with Israel defiling the feast. So we're going to go over a few little things before we get started, just to make sure we're on the right side of the track. Okay? Because the Lord had a problem with Israel not doing it right. So much so that He caused these feasts and holy days to cease for a very long time. He hated the fact that they wasn't doing it right. He said it became sin. Right? Something that's supposed to be holy, you have defiled it and made it to the point where the Lord hated it. And that's what we got to be careful of. Just because we come and we gather, you still got to pay attention to who you represent. All right, you never can forget that. All right, so let's open up at 1 Corinthians 14, chapter, verse 40. We're just throwing out a little rebuke before we even get started. We're going to keep this thing holy. And we're going to have a good time. 1 Corinthians 14, I just take one verse, that is verse 40. 1 Corinthians 14 and 40. So this feast is a joyous occasion. Like I said, if you're on the right side of the track, it's a time when the Lord is going to gather all His people. It's the end of man dwelling in this body. This physical body got to go. Because like the scriptures say, man, the kingdom of heaven, flesh and blood cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven. And right now we reside in flesh and blood bodies. Right? Sometimes, you know, we call it tabernacle, the temple, booths, tent, body. All of those are interchangeable in the Bible. Also, they represent temporary dwellings. Mm-hmm. So this flesh, man as a creation, got a set time to dwell in the flesh and blood body. And that's what this feast is pointing us to. Don't you forget it. The time has already been set up and established. The Lord calls it an appointed time. You know, because like we're going to read scripture, everybody always talking about the Lord going to come back. Oh, they've been saying that for years and years. True that. They've been saying it. We've been hearing it since we was young. But you can't rush God. Just because things get bad in the world, they don't rush God's time. Mm-hmm. He already have the time set up. It's already appointed before the foundation of the earth. So He knows exactly what He's doing. We got to get on, we got to learn His plan and get on His page. So thank God for this feast. But like I said, let's start out at 1 Corinthians 14, verse 40. Harken to the scripture.
Let all things.
How many?
All things.
Be done what?
Decently
and
in order.
That includes the feast. Got to do it decently. Right? Got to do it in order. You represent the Most High God. Can't just do whatever it is that we want to be. All right? Everything be done decently and in order. Back me up to Isaiah 1, verse 13. We just going to see that It came upon a time where the Lord did hate these days because the people was defiling it so much. And when I first came into this thing, I thought these scriptures was for the holidays. But as my understanding, you probably like, no, these are for the feast that he gave them. They just defiled it so much that we became to hate it. All right? And he gonna tell us why. Well, like I said, we're going to keep these feasts from now, from the first man to the last man, to the Lord return. That's how long they good for, too. So we're going to break it up in sections, too. We're going to, most of all, today we're going to deal with, because we're trying to simplify it. All right, because a lot of times we go over these feast days and we really still don't understand them. So the part we're going to deal with today is the tabernacle part, the temporary dwelling in the booths, in the physical body portion. And tomorrow, as we go on, we'll do the ingathering, the gathering in of the heart, and this and that. We're just going to briefly touch on that today. Right? Because we're going to try to simplify it. Right? Because it's better that we understand it, than we come next year and we still, oh man, I kind of sort of remember, but not really, right? That's what we have a lot of. Anyway, too much talking. Isaiah 1, verse 13. Y'all pay attention to what the Lord is telling us. Look at it. He's going to tell us this more than one time. But go ahead. He's talking to his own people, right? Verse 13. Hearken to the scripture.
Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me.
Right. That's what the people had to do to serve for service and worship of the Lord. Bring oblations and sacrifices as well as to atone for sin, right? So he's sick of it. People, and he's gonna tell you why. Go ahead.
The new moons and Sabbaths.
Because all of these are occasions that you offer in sacrifices. Because he told you he's tired of sacrificing, vain oblations. Go ahead.
The calling of assemblies. I cannot away with it.
The calling of assemblies, that's the feast days. I cannot away with it, mean I can't stand it. I'm sick of it. What you mean? You the one gave it to us, Lord. He's gonna tell you why. Go ahead.
It is iniquity.
It is iniquity, not the fact that feast days is iniquity, but what you're doing on the feast days, your behavior, your mentality, it's sin. Go ahead and read.
Even the solemn meetings.
Even the solemn meetings. All the Lord's feast days are considered solemn assemblies. Right? He said, but you done turned it into sin. Go ahead.
14.
Yes.
Your new moons and your appointed feasts.
Yes.
My soul hates.
What you mean?
They are trouble unto me.
You wearying me with these. Go ahead and read.
I am weary to bear them.
Yes.
And when ye spread forth your hands,
what you doing?
I will hide mine eyes from you.
When you pray, you spread forth your hands, you pray. He said, I'm going to hide my hands because he don't hear the prayer of a sinner. Go ahead.
Yeah. When you make many prayers,
yes,
I will not hear.
Why not?
Your hands are full of blood.
That's why. Violence, transgression, you dirty, our minds are dirty. The Lord is, he's sick of that. Like, even when you come to me, you still got that same old dirty mind. Your hands still, you haven't even made amends yet. You sin and then stop and go right back to the same sin. And come before me like it's no big deal. Everything I gave you for holiness, you polluted. And that's what we're not going to do. All right, go ahead.
Wash you.
This is the instruction. Wash you. How do we do that? With the water of the word. By simply obeying the word. Go ahead.
Make you clean.
Make yourself clean. Go ahead.
Put away the evil.
And that's, make yourself clean. That's even the way you think. It starts in your mind, as a matter of fact. Or like the Bible tell your heart. He said, put away the evil of your doing. That way when you come before him, you be straight. Go ahead.
From before mine eyes.
Yes.
Cease to do evil. Learn to do well.
Do well.
Seek judgment.
Yes.
Relieve the oppressed. Judge the fatherless. Plead for the widow.
Yeah.
Come now and let us breathe, saith the Lord.
What happened?
For your sins be as scarlet. They shall be as white as snow.
That's what he'll do for you. But you got to come correctly. Right back up, go forward to Amos, the 5th chapter, verse 21. He's just showing you things we do can pollute even the holy things of the Lord. And we don't want this to be our testimony. Because what's the point of us coming together on his holy day and we pollute it? He gave our offerings. All right? No, not a curse. Verse 21, harken to the scripture.
I hate.
What?
I hate.
What you hate?
I despise your feast
Some
days.
pretty strong emotions, ain't it? Hate and despise your feast day? What? Come on.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
Right, well, you know, when you do your little sacrifice, I'm not gonna smell it, I'm not gonna regard it. It's gonna be like with Cain when he said, I had not respect to Cain's offering. That's what he's telling you. Go ahead.
Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts.
Yes.
Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs.
You know, because when you come to the feast, you play a song and the music, you know, and you got the wine and everything, you're having a good time. But which the Lord wouldn't have a problem with that if you would consider the work of his hands. If you would wash yourself and be clean first. If you would do his will, right? You wouldn't have a problem. But we don't do the will of God. We just want to come and get together and have a party. That's why he have a problem with it. Right? Go ahead.
For I will not hear the melody of thy vows.
That's our song. That's your music. Right? You're not going to hear that. We'll play music when we come together in his name. But he's sick of it. Because we coming together like we holy, but we still dirty in the mind. And that's why he don't accept it. It's like make a meal with your brother first and then bring your offering to the altar. That's kind of what it is. Right? Go out Isaiah the 5th chapter, give me verse 11. And then I'm about to let this go. Then we get to the point. Yeah. There's just a couple of things we need to know right quick. We just can't do what we want to do, right? Ain't loosey-goosey like that. Isaiah 5, verse 11. Isaiah 5 and 11. Once again, the Lord is talking to his people. Matter of fact, he verse 7, so we can know who he's talking to right here. Harken to the scripture.
For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel,
And
the men of Judah, his blessed plant.
Overall, the Lord is the gardener, the husbandman, as the Bible calls the gardener. But go ahead.
And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression.
See, this is why he don't have pleasure. You look for judgment, but all we do is oppress each other. What do we learn the judgment from? You learn righteous judgments and commandments. But instead of using that rightfully, we use that to oppress each other. And then we come to the Lord like you've done nothing wrong. Right? Go ahead.
For righteousness.
Yes.
But behold the cry.
Well, because the people that you supposed to go and use the law rightfully to, you use it to oppress them. Now they crying out to the Lord. Right? He looked for righteousness, but he looked upon the cry. Right? Drop down to verse 11.
Woe to them that rise up early in the morning,
And do what?
that they may fall a strong drink. They continue tonight
When?
till wine inflame them.
All day. You drink for breakfast, lunch, and brunch, dinner. I'm talking about snack. Huh? Go ahead.
And the harp,
Yes.
and the viol,
And what else?
the tabret, and pipe, and wine are at their feast.
Now he put an event with what's going on, right? Go ahead.
But they regard not the work of the Lord.
See, that's the problem. See, when you come to the feast first, we need to learn the work of the Lord. How do we learn that? By hearing his word. Because he's going to tell us his works. He said, you just come to the feast. Really? You ain't even trying to hear the word, which is telling you about the works of my hand. You just worried about getting drunk and playing music. You know, your mind is far from me, even though you're at the feast. Because the part about my works, which is what the feast day is for, so you can learn the works of the Lord. You don't even go at that part. You just ready to go party. You start early in the morning, you end the next day. Huh? And you haven't one time regarded the work of my hand. Which I'm telling you in this feast day that I'm coming back. I'm gathering the people unto me. That's what this gathering is about, the gathering of the people to the Lord. So with that being said, let's regard some of the work of his hands and get into the lesson now. Give me Leviticus 23:1. We're going to skip in and out of Leviticus. The bulk of the lesson we're going to be dealing with, like I said, the tabernacle, the tent, temple, book, body. all representing temporary dwellings. If you don't believe this, your body is considered the temple or the tabernacle. Can you live forever? Exactly, temporary dwelling. Temporary. So the Lord put a time on man as a creation. He made the tabernacle for you, which is your time, an expiration date on it. Let you know He's coming back. And when He comes back, you're going to receive a change in the body if you found worthy. All right, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're hoping for. So pick me up in Leviticus 23, verse 1. Hearken to the scripture.
And the Lord spake unto Moses,
Yes.
saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and saying to them,
What you want me to tell them?
concerning the feast of the Lord.
We concerning the feast. Whatever we talk about from this point on, we talk in regards to the feast of not the Jews or the Muslims, right? No. Go ahead. The Lord
Shall proclaim to be holy convocations.
Yes, sir.
Even these are my.
Now remember, He said, regarding the works of my hands. These are holy convocations, holy gatherings, holy rehearsals or assemblies. And He said, even these are my feasts. Drop down to verse 4. Go ahead.
These are the feasts of the Lord.
I can keep them anytime I want to.
Even holy convocations which ye shall proclaim in their season.
And every one of them have a season or a time. And the time has already been appointed unto us by the Lord. So this is the work of His hands. We need to regard it. Drop down to verse 33. Welcome to the scripture.
And the Lord spake unto Moses,
What happened?
saying,
Yes.
Speaking to the children of Israel, saying,
What?
The 15th day of the 7th month.
See, that's another one of the works of the Lord's hand. See, man's time, we're in the 9th month, the 25th day of the month. But the Lord's time is different. He set it up before man's time. And in His time, right now, we're in the 7th month on the 15th day. So He requires us to have a feast, right, which is what we're doing, a Feast of Tabernacles. Go ahead.
Shall be the Feast of Tabernacles.
It shall be. It's got to happen then. 15th day of the 7th month. Go ahead.
For 7 days.
And I want you to keep this feast for 7 days.
Unto the Lord.
Unto the Lord. That means you feasting for 7 days unto the Lord. Go ahead.
On the first day.
Yes.
Shall be in holy convocation.
Right on.
Ye shall do no servile work therein.
We're going to take it just one. You shall do no servile work. That means work for money. That's not allowed on this 15th day of the 7th month. Go ahead.
7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire to the Lord.
That's right.
On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you.
Oh, so we just got another time, right? He said 8 days. It shall on the 8th day shall be another holy convocation. Meaning a holy gathering. Go ahead.
And ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Yes.
It is
a
solemn assembly.
So did He say feast on the 8th day? Or did He say feast for 7 days? He said feast for 7 days. Then He told us, after He told us about feasting for 7 days, then He told us about the 8th day. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And He didn't say He feast on the 8th day, did He?
No, sir.
He said you should have a what?
Solemn
A solemn assembly, a holy convocation, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Go ahead.
And ye shall do no servile work therein.
That's right.
These are the feasts of the Lord.
That's good. So let's excuse me. Let's get out of that a little bit. Back up to Exodus 34, verse 21. This Feast of Tabernacles, for 7 days you feast. On the 8th day of the Feast of Tabernacles, he said you have a solemn assembly, holy convocation unto the Lord. He didn't tell us to feast. All right? We just need to keep it that simple. And this feast is also called the Feast of Ingathering. We're going to let the Bible tell us. Exodus 34, verse 21. Hearken to the scripture.
6 days.
Yes.
Thou shalt work. But on the 7th day thou shalt rest.
Yes.
In every time and in the harvest thou shalt rest. And thou shalt observe the Feast of Weeks.
Yes, because it's 3 times in a year the Lord tell you to observe this feast. Right? Go ahead.
Of the first fruits.
Yes.
Of wheat harvest. And the Feast of Ingathering.
Which is when?
At the end's year.
Okay.
At the year's end.
So this Feast of Tabernacles is also called the Feast of Ingathering. And he let you know what's happening at the year's end. You know, bigger picture lets you know that this is the last one. This is when he's going to gather all the people. This is the end of this thing. The harvest of the earth is ready. And that's what this feast is pointing us to. It's over with for how things are now, the way of life as we know it. It's time to gather all the saints, and we're going to rule over this world in righteousness. This evil world, how it is now, it's ceasing. All right, so this is a good time for us. Back up to the 23rd chapter of Exodus. So we got another name, the Feast of Ingathering, as well as the Feast of Tabernacles. Verse 14, Exodus 23 and 14. Exodus 23, verse 14. Hearken to the scripture.
3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year.
When?
Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days,
Yes.
as I commanded thee. In the time appointed of the month Abib.
Uh-huh.
For in it thou camest down from Egypt.
Yeah, so you see he already have his feast days and the time appointed, right? This is the first.
And none shall appear before me empty.
That's right. You got to bring your offering. None shall before me empty. Go ahead.
And the feast of harvest.
Yes.
The first fruits of thy labors.
Yes.
Which thou hast sown in the field.
Uh-huh.
And the feast of ingathering.
The Feast of Ingathering, which now we know is the Feast of Tabernacles, right? And it happens when? At the end of the year. All right, go ahead. You can find out something else.
Which is in the end of the year.
What shall I do?
When thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field.
Yes.
3 times in the year all thy males shall appear before.
That's good. He said at the year's end when you have gathered in all the labors out of the field. See, that's big. Because that's what the Lord is. That's exactly what the Lord is going to do. Now this is the end of the agricultural year, right? Because the Lord's calendar, if this is the 7th month, the Lord still got 5 more months. So this is the time of harvest, to gather in all of the harvest, right? So let's go a little bit further. Deuteronomy 16. Deuteronomy 16, verse 13. Hearken to the scripture.
Thou shalt observe the feast of tabernacles 7 days.
Uh-huh.
After that, thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine.
Yeah, see, you see how it's tied to agriculture? It's the end of the agricultural year, right? For the because the Lord, because if it's the 7th month, it's 12 months in a year, we still got 5 more months. The year ain't over with. But this ain't the end of the year of the Lord's calendar. This is the end of the agricultural year. This is the time of harvest. It's time to gather in your labor, right, out of the field. That's what he keeps telling you. So he said, tabernacle 7 days. After that, after you have gathered in the corn and the wine, go ahead.
And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast.
Ooh.
Thou.
See, this is what Ecclesiastes is talking about. The Lord give a man the ability to enjoy the work of your hands. You know, he's even set up feast days so you can do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he say, after you rejoice, your son, go ahead.
And thy son,
Uh-huh.
and thy daughter,
Go ahead.
and thy manservant,
Right.
and thy maidservant,
Right.
and the Levite,
Yes.
the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are within thy gates.
Go ahead.
7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast to the Lord thy God in the place which the Lord shall choose,
Uh-huh.
because the Lord thy God shall bless thee. And I
Right, so now he'll let you enjoy the works of your labor. So he says 7 days. So you keep this solemn feast, right? But he already told us we can eat on these 7 days. He still never said that about the 8th day, even though he called the 8th day a solemn assembly too. So all the Lord's feasts are considered solemn assemblies. But if he wants you to eat on them, he'll tell you, because he don't want to leave no room for you to inject your thoughts. All right, go ahead.
and in all the works of thine hands.
See all the work of your hand, what happened?
Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice.
Surely rejoice. Amen. Go ahead.
3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Lord thy God in a place which he shall choose.
Uh-huh.
In the feast of unleavened bread.
Right.
And in,
Go ahead.
and in the feast of weeks.
Yes.
And in the feast of tabernacles.
Yes.
They,
Go ahead.
and they shall not empty.
You can't come before the Lord empty. Because one thing the Lord knows, I done blessed each and every person. No. Look what he's going to tell you in this next verse. Go ahead and read it.
Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God which he hath given thee.
So that's what he means when he means don't come before me empty. Dead serious. Right? So let's see how they kind of did back in the old time. Right? Pick up at 2 Chronicles, the 7th chapter. Because we just establishing the fact that the feast is 7 days. We feasting for 7 days, and on the 8th day, we not feasting, we having a solemn assembly. 2 Chronicles 7, verse 1. 2 Chronicles 7, verse 1. Harken to the scripture.
Now when Solomon had made an end of praying, the fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices. And the glory of the Lord filled the house. And the priest could not enter into the house of the Lord, because the glory of the Lord had filled the Lord's house. And when all the children of Israel saw how the fire came down, and the glory of the Lord upon the house, they bowed themselves with their faces to the ground upon the pavement, and worshiped and praised the Lord, saying, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever.
That's right.
Then the king and all the people offered sacrifices before the Lord.
That's right.
And King Solomon offered a sacrifice of 22,000 oxen.
So they just came with abundance. You know, everybody was happy to give something to God. Right? He's a great God, a great king. This should be our joy that he would even take anything from us. Right? But go ahead.
And in 120,000
keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. Go ahead.
and ye shall offer a burnt
Keep a feast unto the Lord 8 days.
7 days.
8 days.
7 days.
The same. Go ahead.
And ye shall offer a burnt offering.
Now, every hour 7 days you got to offer a burnt offering. All right, that's where you're starting out. Go ahead.
A sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord.
That's because it's a sweet savor unto the Lord. Go ahead.
13 young bullocks,
Yes.
2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year.
Yes.
They shall be without blemish.
Go ahead.
And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil. 3 tent deals unto every bullock of the 13 bullocks. 2 tent deals to each ram of the 2 rams. And 7 tent deal to each lamb of the 14 lambs.
Okay, so now verse 13, God said, and 14 lambs of the first year thou shalt be without blemish. All right, so it's 14. Now as we go on, verse 14 to let you know, the number of bullocks dropped down to 13. And as we go down to the second day, pick me up at verse 17. Go ahead.
And on the second day, ye shall offer 12 young bullocks.
So it's steady decreasing. You shall offer 12, right? Go ahead.
2 rams. 14 lambs of the first year without blemish.
You finish that verse?
Yes.
Okay, drop down to verse 20. Go ahead.
And on the third day, 11 bullocks.
Right.
2 rams. 14 lambs of the first year without blemish.
Okay, so we down to 11, right? And that's on the third. Let's get down to the 5th day, verse 26. Go ahead.
And on the 5th day, 9 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without
So
blemish.
now we're at 9. We're at the 5th day and steady going down. All right, you can read the rest of it on your own. We're going to drop down to verse 32 and 33. Go ahead.
And on the 7th day, 7 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish.
Steady going down. Go ahead.
And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner.
Right.
And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering and his drink offering.
Come on.
On the 8th day,
Yes.
ye shall have a solemn assembly.
On the 8th day, you should have a solemn assembly. What else? What's what we've been reading about the burnt offerings? I know they had other offerings in here, but we was reading about the burning. Starting with 14 and now to 1. And on this 8th day is 1 because we're not eating or feasting like we were for the first 7 days. All right, go ahead.
A sacrifice made by fire.
Yes.
Of a sweet savor to the Lord.
Yes.
1 bullock.
See, there it is. 1 bullock. You saw it descend from 14 to 1. On the 8th day, 1, because you're not feasting like you was. Go ahead.
1 ram.
Yes.
7 lambs of the first year.
7 lambs of the first year.
Without blemish.
Without blemish. So the feast is 7 days of feasting, 8 days solemn assembly, right? Go back to Leviticus 23. We're going to read some more about this feast. We just wanted to point that out. Leviticus 23. Verse 37 through 39 tell you about the sacrifices that you had to offer. Some of them we just read. We're not going after all that today, but it's just letting you know. Verse 39. Go ahead.
Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land,
Yes.
ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord.
Okay.
On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath.
Okay, so we got that, right? That point been drilled in pretty well. I say, go ahead.
And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees,
Right.
and the boughs of fig trees,
Uh-huh.
and willows of the brook.
Right.
And ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days.
Okay, so rejoicing, you feasting and rejoicing, for 7 days, right? Go ahead.
And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year.
Yes.
It shall be a statute forever.
So you keep the feast 7 days. You understand? Not the first and the last. 7 days is how they did it, right? Not the first day and the last day. It don't say you keep the feast on the first day and the last day. It say you keep the feast for 7 days. And then on the 8th day you have a holy convocation. Go ahead.
Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month.
Yes.
Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days.
So now he told us something else. On top of all the other things we just learned, he said you shall dwell in booths. These booths are tents. All right? This is what they're going to represent. Temporary dwellings. And because you on he said, I want you to dwell in booths for 7 days. Go ahead. And I'm going to tell you why. Go ahead.
All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths.
Go ahead.
That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths.
That's the reason. I want you to know that I made the children for the time they was in Egypt. The time coming out of Egypt. Go ahead.
When I brought them out of the land of Egypt.
Yes.
I am the Lord your God.